We have mentioned in previous videos that a router separates networks. It could be a wireless router like this one, or it could be a wired router like this one. But either way, all of the ports that come off of a router are their own network. So in other words, these PCs are on one network, and on the other side we have actually an address 47.1.3.42, which is part of a network that comes from this ISP. So what does NAT do? Network Address Translation. Well, it translates from one to the other. So as one of these IP addresses, and don't worry about this 16, by the way, this /16 is just telling me that this is a whole series of addresses that all start with 10.0. So we will deal with that later in the course, but for now, all of these are 10.0. something. So let's say that this PC is 10.0.0.1. So as signals come out and go to this switch and come to this router using NAT will translate from 10.0.0.1 to 47.1.3.42 and send that out to the internet. Now to the internet, all they know about this PC is it's 47.1.3.42. So when the response comes back, NAT remembers which PC it was and which address it is. We're not going to go into how it knows that, but it does. And so then it translates that signal back again as it goes into here. Now this particular address space, this 10.0 space, is one of the spaces that we call private networks. In other words, it is a set of addresses that we cannot use on the public internet. They are reserved for use inside an organization. So it may be that another house or another organization also is using this same set of addresses, but their NAT router will translate for them and mine will translate for me. And this out here is a public space. So these have just been designated by the powers that be that say, well, these addresses are reserved for just private use and these addresses are reserved for public use. And NAT is the way we get back and forth between them. Now NAT solves several problems. For one thing, it's a security issue. So think about the fact that any PC out here on the internet does not know my final address. It does not know about 10.0.0.1 here. All it knows is 47.1.3.42. So it's actually hiding my IP addresses on these PCs from the outside world. It's also solving a problem, the fact that we are running out, in fact have run out, of IP addresses of this type. There's another type of IP called IP version 6 that has more addresses. But IP version 4, which is what these are, we have run out of those a long time ago, so we just can't keep giving public addresses to every PC. And so this stretches, by reusing these in different organizations, stretches that set of addresses for us. It is also a cost-saving feature. If I had to buy public addresses for all of these PCs, I would have to pay my ISP for every one of those addresses. But because I can make them all my own private set of addresses, I don't have to worry about registering them with the ISP. This is the only address the ISP knows about.